This is very unusual for me to take a video of myself, but I'm in Sarajevo. I've just spent an hour and a half walking up a big hill. It's called Trebević, I think. The reason I got to the top, walked all this way, is to come here because I wanted to explore the abandoned bobsled track from the 1984 Winter Olympics. And it's even nice and icy, especially for me, so I'm trying not to break my neck walking down. There's a cable car coming up this mountain, which I got to the door saying it was running until 5 PM this evening. I got there at 4:45. They told me actually the last one to the top was at 4:30. I'd have to, the 5 o'clock was coming back down, which I'd never intended to take the one down anyway. I was always planning to walk down. But it means I'm a lot sweatier here at the top than I'd expected to be, despite the fact that it's about midnight, about 0 degrees today. This bobsled track, while clearly long since abandoned, is not entirely remote. As I said, there's the cable car at the top of the hill, and there's a walking path nearby, albeit it's a bit complicated to get there. I had to walk through Balkan village to get here, with all sorts of Alsatians going crazy barking at me. Quite intimidating, to be honest, but having got here, it's beautiful, well worth the trip up. Thoroughly enjoyed looking at some of the street art on the way up, and I'm very much looking forward to actually walking the track and going down. See this, I read some reports before that there was some street art here, but that it wasn't very good. But the street art that I've seen, particularly this one, is absolutely fantastic. And most of what I've seen from walking down is just been on the outsides, where the concrete is completely overgrown with moss. It's fantastic that this exists. Like, you often hear of things like this that are either left to ruin or completely destroyed. While clearly this is left to ruin, the fact that it's available and in the woods here and not closed off to the public is so cool. Like, I really like it. I always really enjoy urban exploration, and you know, sometimes it's a bit more intimidating than the other, like breaking into Spree Park in Berlin, or just exploring old houses in the middle of Scotland. Or like when I was in Chisinau and exploring an abandoned observatory. All these places are pretty cool, but in complete disrepair, whereas this is fantastic. This is here. Sarajevo clearly is not the richest city in the world, and clearly that they have no intention of ever using this again. But it's so cool that, like, it's not closed off, and clearly people can come and explore it if they want to. In fact, shortly before I turned the camera on, I saw a lady jogging down it. I'm not sure if she was actually jogging in the bobsled track like I am, or if she was jogging on the path beside me, but from where I was standing, it did actually look like she was inside the bobsled track. That's a adventurous run, particularly with it being icy. I'm not sure if I could go down it without run down it without quoting Cool Runnings all the way. Sanka, you can pee now. Got really lucky. Like, when I started to walk up, I was worried that I'd get here too late to see it properly. Like, the sun's due to set about 7 o'clock. It's 6:10 now. Clearly the light is just perfect for walking down and exploring. I obviously don't do many videos with me in it. Obviously I know I'm beautiful, good looks and that, but I know what I look like. see clearly the place is not exactly abandoned, albeit given it's not far from the city, and clearly is such a unusual thing with so many tourists. I'd expect to see a few more people around, but I only saw that lady I mentioned before, the walk up, and a girl I chatted to who was coming the other way, halfway up, and then I saw this couple in the distance. See, they've been walking on the path beside me. This is really cool. I'm actually quite surprised by how solid the concrete still is. Like, I'd expected it to be much more cracked and battered up, but in fact it's not. In fact it's still pretty solid. Obviously I was slightly concerned, despite the fact I'm with the winter sports, that I'm going to fall on my backside. Try not to. But a lady who was jogging down here is braver than I am. I have absolutely no idea what that is I can hear, but it's not a barking Alsatian, so I'm quite happy. Must be some kind of bird. Maybe a woodpecker by the sound of it. I don't know if they have woodpeckers in Bosnia. Cool walking through the woods, exploring. When I get to the bottom of here as well, I'm led to believe that there's a abandoned couple of buildings, one of which was converted into an observatory, albeit was abandoned during the Balkan War, and is riddled with bullet holes apparently. Also, you have to apparently be very careful in the walking too far out the sticks in the woods here because of landmines. So clearly a lovely place. This little guy in the graffiti here, I think, is a guy called Vuksha, means wolf in Bosnian. He is the mascot of the 1984 Olympics, which is what this track was originally for. I'm led to believe it wasn't just for, well, it was built for the Olympics, I think. It was used for several national championships and stuff after that. I don't know if it was just abandoned because of the Balkan War. But clearly as I'm walking down it, it seems pretty much intact if they ever wanted to fix it up and use it again. Feels like a brave skateboarder would be able to come down here. I'm sure they probably do. Might be fun to come down on a big sledge. Sort of feel like moving the camera from side to side, like as if I actually am bobsledding. I'll save you it. I'm going to watch this back myself and I'm trying not to make myself sick or look like a complete dickhead. Hence why I only dropped one cool runners quote and didn't put on a Jamaican accent. Didn't walk up quite this part when I came down, so it's pretty cool. I haven't seen any of this part down here with like the rises and falls. That's really cool. I actually have never watched the Bobsled Olympics in Sarajevo in 1984. I'm sure there must be some footage out there. I read about this some time ago when I decided I wanted to come to Sarajevo. I always look on Atlas Obscura for unusual sights to see in cities that I'm visiting. This was a prominent pick. But having walked down the track, I feel duty bound to go home and actually watch some footage of the bobsledding from 1984 Sarajevo. It's beautiful, really beautiful. It's actually much longer than I expected the track would be. I had no idea that the bobsled race was this long. I had in my mind it would have probably been like 200-300 meters or something. Like I must have been walking for nearly a kilometer. This is really cool. I'd seen a photograph of this bit. Sticky. Well, this is the peak of the trough. Very dirty and muddy. Lovely sound of you blowing my nose there. As you might be able to tell, I'm actually going up a hill now. Don't know if that means that maybe that bit at the end, that bit there was possibly the end, or the actual part of the race. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not very steep uphill, but it is uphill. I wonder if that means that the bobsleds themselves had enough momentum to come up the hill here. But actually I can see it's getting very steep uphill, and I think I walked past it when I came up the hill earlier. I think that actually is the very end I'm at now. You can see through the trees there maybe the mossy overgrown bit that I've just walked down on the other side. Looks really cool. It's like snaking through the woods, rusty and mouldy. Yeah, I realise I am right at the very end here, so I'm going to hop off the track and go and have a little closer look at it from underneath here. Really cool. Really, really cool. I've walked 99% of it. I'm going to walk the last 1% back on the trail. So I guess my hypothesis that going underneath that little bridge, I think that must have been the finish line. It was like clearly a big standing area around there as well, so maybe I'm not quite as far at the end as I thought I was. No, I think I am. I mean, this is pretty steep uphill now. It's about to get much steeper. I'm totally overgrown here. Very slippery. I'm walking in the moss myself. Yeah, that's it, that's the end. That's the very end. Alright, that was it. I walked the length of the bobsled track from the Sarajevo 94 Olympics. It was awesome.